Yes, this is part two of that. So as we move on and we get into other things, y'all just vibe for a little bit. My apologies, but we're on part two now. We just vibe for a little bit to what's going on in the background as I get this next lesson together for y'all. So yeah, what I was continuing to say about these people, they take these bourgeois dudes and they big them up, and then that's why before they speak, you hear things like, "Oh, this is Dr. Such and Such. He's the leading philanthropist on this." Before they speak, this is such and such. He's toured Africa 3 times, and he's did this. That's just to preset in your mind that these guys are intelligent. They know what they're talking about. So anything they tell you, you should already listen. So it's like setting up a belief system, like a Bible. You're already going to believe it because the way they introduced to them by their letters, their acronyms, their PhDs, and they, this, and I'm Dr. Thelma Hunt, and I'm the one that wrote the curriculum on this, and all of that kind of stuff supposed to make up for them being animals, human animals that rose to the top, and you have to respect that. So let's get into some more. Yeah, they do it in the army too. This is Sergeant Colonel such and such. I did 3 tours or such and such. What they're really saying is, this man is a good killer. He's a good killer, and we can introduce this killer back in society. He has a Purple Heart. He did 6 tours. If you understood what they were doing over there, that's a part of another program. But these are killers that come back from the military and wars. If you was at war, you was killing. You made it home, you got such and such confirmed kills. You can say that on TV. I'm such and such, I got such and such confirmed kills. Oh, you did that for the military, so it's cool. Now, if that's war and there's warlord or laws and necessary evil, then yeah, I'm for that too. I'm not against that, but I'm just painting a picture. You can't go out and kill without getting 25 to life. You understand? So they got people that that you don't see. They don't go out and get corporate jobs. They sit them in think tanks. If you sit somebody in a think tank in a damn basement somewhere for 6 goddamn years and teach them about killing and show them all kind of hate and crime, and you tell them the next day, we got your apartment somewhere, they want you to go and live by yourself, you got all that on your mind, and the next day you're just out of there from 6, 7 years of crawling walls, and you was already crazy, and you got a gun in your hand, they put you in an apartment across the street from an elementary school, and you've been trained already to just kill. So you get up the next morning and exercise what you was trained to exercise. A lot of this stuff, man, ain't what y'all think it is, man. It's them participating too in planet cleanup, from children to bombs to saying that there's terrorists doing these type of killings when it may not be. All I'm saying is, man, I offer that you can get out of all of that. You can get away from all of that by becoming soul future and becoming a bright mind. All right, and just duck. Find things to do that's quiet, that can make you some money, and stay out of the way. And remember, don't be a part of people that you're not in a third world country. You can be free, but you don't want to be. All of this stuff they've been teaching us has been false, man. You got maps that these gods are teaching y'all off of when they know there's a history of maps. You got Peri-Reyes maps. You got maps that preceded that. You got maps that show Antarctica completely ice-free. Y'all understand that? So when they're teaching you on these books and they're teaching you the geographics, they're not telling you the truth. They're not telling you that Upper Egypt is really in North America. They're not telling you that North America is a place of civilization. They tell you what Africa is. They tell you what they want to tell you. They'll teach you what they want to teach you in their schools. It's about going out, and with them, it's about going out and recruiting the next house nigga and getting them into your mentality and He no longer has the mentality of a ghetto child anymore, which I'm not saying is bad, but it turns him against his very community, because these be your bougie educated niggas that don't want to come back, and they don't not like black people like I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like you because you're ignorant, and you won't stop being ignorant. They don't like them because they think they're better now because they with the white class. That's why they don't like them. They really think they're white inside. So it's a total difference. So they can find artifacts and it can be dated one thing, but by the time they get into your history or your educational book or your encyclopedia, or whatever they write, the botanical encyclopedias and all that, just what I'm saying, we don't have nothing to do with none of those things being inducted into the system that we got to learn it from. We have nothing to do with it. And yeah, as far as cell phones is, I would tell people to stay away. You have to stay off cell phones. All societies are Kabbalion and ancient Illuminati orders. Scientists, the astrologists, pantheologists, like I told you, the wise teachers, the masters, the Dalai Lamas, the gurus, the doctors, the engineers, the bankers, the judges, you know what I mean? Those who control education and religious systems. Yeah, that's why all presidents will have to have scientific advisors, psychic advisors, or what you would call witch doctors. They have these witch doctors. All of the presidents, yeah. Well, it was one of the Rockefellers. He's in the elite family. One of them tried to expose a lot of this stuff. But like I said, there's if you have a bad race of people, everybody in that race is not bad. Just maybe a percentage of it is higher bad than a good percent. But all bad races don't have all bad people in them, and all good races don't have all good people in them. You have bad people in what you would think is a good race. And this is why I teach people that I'm beginning to disconnect from the Anunnaki. They are my race. But it would be like you got cousins down south and all that. They definitely got the same last name, but you don't do what they do. And you're not for what they for. You don't vote for who they vote for. You're a Democrat, they're a Republican. So when my family went astray, it left me to search, what side of the family of the Anunnaki am I from? Sumerians, Hyperboreans, Sumerians, Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamia. Who do I identify with? Olmecs, Aztecs, Incas, Mayas. Many colored people out here, children of the sun I can pick from. So I just said, well, I'm sun compatible. And I start now looking at the Anunnaki as a race of my people that's coming back, and they're the ones they're the gods of the Bible. They're God in the Bible. They're the devil. They're Lucifer. They made all of this up. The system is theirs. And even us as their children are underneath it. We're underneath their rule. Unless you solar tap out and the watchers, the true solar energy will guide you to what to do, where to be, what to teach, and how to teach people away from thinking that the governing class, the Anunnaki, who governs the earth right now, is the last and final control. And they're not. They're just here. Like there's ETs here. America been made contact. So if you want to be part of Soul Future, I just try to get you to know a lot of stuff. Drop lessons on a lot of stuff, just here and there. And when you wind all that up, it's not for you to believe. It's just for you to be equipped with some type of enlightenment. And it could be some from the educational system, but it should be 90% of your own brain, your own head. The educational system doesn't allow you to think. Work field doesn't allow you to think. You're going to work for somebody else every day. I'd rather get my own papers together. I'd rather get my own coffee. And so just like you coffee drinkers, cigarette smokers, talking about crackheads or your children on weed, you on worse drugs than them. You know how many chemicals is in one cigarette? You know how many chemicals is in a cup of coffee? That you can't start your day with, you junkie, without that Starbucks or your cup of coffee or your cigarette. You can't perform because you're an addict. You're an addict. The new drug is the phone. Some people can't go to their bathroom without their phone. They don't understand what their phone is doing. One way that I learned recently to kind of make your phone kind of safe is de-Google it. You don't really need to Google. If you don't really need the Google app, that's the way they're getting in. And believe it or not, Netflix and a lot of other apps. Once you got an app connected to your phone, that app is personal. It's just loaned it to Apple or renting that app to Apple, or Apple bought that app or something like that. But the person of that app gets all that information. A lot of information is being sold. Just put it like that. I don't want to get too deep in that, but you have what's called now a Skynet. And I always told y'all there's going to be a Uninet. I told that on my Apex show. You have Ethernet. You ever seen that on your phone? Ethernet. Because all this stuff is being streamed in now. Think of what I'm telling you, how the sun rays do what? Stream in. They stream in elements, stream in things. We were streamed in or beamed in. Where's the world going now? Music and all kinds of things. Information is being what? Streamed in. There's no more record sellers. How many streams did you get? Streaming in. Light. Ethernet. You have now the Skynet. You have the Uninet, and you'll be able to contact different species of extraterrestrials, and they will have a page, and you will go face to face with them. That's coming. That's coming. Your phone knows everything about you, whether it's on, whether it's off, because of frequency. Your phone is your spy. Spying on you 24 hours, and you take it everywhere you go, period. Your iPhone, your Android, I don't care. You can't live without it. So is this not a robot taking over? The phones have taken over. I mean, you panic when you lose your phone. You know that little thing you get, oh my God, my phone. You could be in your house, you start tapping around. I hope I ain't leave it outside. Some of you done got all the way home and left your phone on the counter somewhere. You jump back in your car so fast, and you get on that phone and call, and you shoot there, and you're so relieved when your phone is there. Somebody said, yeah, you left it on the counter. Because it was your life. Think of how you felt in between that. Why? Because all your information is in your phone. Not your head, your phone. Ain't like you're going to be able to say, well, I don't know, I'll think about everything I had in my phone. No, you can't. It's impossible. You're too stupid to do that. Phone has dumbed you down. So these are people who can't live without their phones. Take it everywhere, into the bathroom with them. You see these people walking outside. If you don't tell them, hey, excuse me, then they look up and they move away from it because their head was down in their phone. Sleepwalking robots. And the neck vertebrae, the bone in your neck, up by, upper neck, right above your clavicle. The next generation is going to be born with a tilted head now, because this generation is going through life with a tilted head. Look at how many tilted heads you see a day. Meaning people with their neck down, with their chin towards their chest, into their phone. Constantly, everywhere you go. It's going to get into your DNA. It's going to form in your DNA. And the next children are going to be, formed like that, almost like lizard people. Trust what I'm telling you. The cell phone is watching, on or off. If you not got that camera covered, they have, just like you have places with all this security, you got somebody get a job and just go sit, and his job is to sit and watch all the cameras. Well, there's a place where they got under, it's off books, but they sit, and all of the phones that they're into, that they got into or they got access to, they just sitting watching you, what you're doing in your house, like they're watching television. Because your phone is now down on the counter in your house. They can see the ceiling, or wherever you're walking it around, they can hear everything that's going on. Trust what I'm telling you, period. Whether you cut your phone on or off now, the battery phone was better because you could cut your phone off and they couldn't really penetrate. Why do you think they stopped giving you access to a battery in your phone? So what are you cutting off? What are you really cutting off? There was a tower right next to you. Your identity is ricocheting right off that tower as soon as you pay for that phone and buy that phone. And they can even, before you even buy the phone is set up. You just activating the phone. That's why it says activate your phone. You're just actually Not even activating it. It's activated already. You're just associating yourself now with this phone that you just bought out of a store. It's just a phone in the store. It's already activated, ready to hit a few buttons and be gone. Who owns the phone? They don't know until you buy it with your credit card, your name, put your name, Google account, and all that. Boom. Now that's your identity. I am whatever EU number, all that is your that's sealed. That phone is with you forever. Everything you do, everywhere you walk, everywhere you go, you just track your own self. Y'all gotta understand these things. An iPhone, that phone is the most dangerous thing. You can take your Google app off. Get rid of your Google app, get rid of Netflix, and it'll help you a little bit better, but you still will be getting spied on. It's a big information thing going on with these phones. Corporations are selling information. Now, let me get back to that and how this thing works. What you call Illuminati is just rich people, enlightened ones that have the part of the plan to take over the world. Different sections of them, different groups of them, Bohemians, you got Bavarian, you got, Spanish Illuminati, Latin Illuminati, you got bankers, you got judges, politicians, masons, skulls and bones. It just means enlightened people, but they work together. They all work together for control of the earth. Now, yes, they battle each other. They got plans that go against each other. They represent a flower called the rose and the cross that they so-called crucified Jesus on, because they're Antichrist, really. They represent this cross. That's the Rosicrucian, the rose and the cross. And at times, these high elite families or societies, they battle against each other for more power. And remember, I told you they represent the rose. So back in the day, they put out a movie called what? War of the Roses. It had Danny DeVito in it, stuff like that. And that was like on a corporate level, how they were warring against each other. It'd be sort of like Apple, you're getting too big. Google is saying this. Exxon or GE, General Electric, might be saying, wait a minute, that's getting out of control. Apple, so they're going to make so much money, they're going to take over. So you got to put us down on this. You got to help us out with that. Just like I'm going to take the law, you're going to take the church, I'm going to charge taxes. Somebody who took the religion part sit in and say, well, I'm not going to pay taxes. How that's going to work? He said, okay, I'll write in on my laws that church is separate from state. Church don't have to pay taxes. So much go on through the church. So much is fun through the churches, through the Vatican, secret knowledge, miles and miles of all these hidden artifacts that I was telling you about in part 1 of this. They got the real artifacts. If you can know about a place called the Vatican that got secret, or anything that got secret documents, secret societies, classified, then that stuff we ain't got. That stuff that's not in the public. That's the secret stuff. So what is this they're putting in books and all this kind of stuff that these gods are reading to build these African books, these cultural books? No, I read a book by this freed slave. I read this. They told us back in the days we used to mine the gold, or back in the days we built the pyramids with Hotep. We were the first, and all that bullshit ain't gonna get you nowhere, man. If none of these teachers are teaching you futuristic information, if you can't get up right there and go forward, then they taught you to go backwards. Fuck, you want to get up and think about Harriet Tubman, or what the fuck she did. She freed the slaves. Well, who the fuck are you freeing? Stop reading about successful people or great people and be one. If they're in your genetic, because they're you. The recycling of you. The recycling of you. Ain't nothing new coming back. We're recycling. That seed is coming back into the earth in another body. That's all we do is we recycle. We come back. This is why you can sit and look at a picture, and you can sit and say, your daughter, damn, my daughter looks like her father's grandmother, because it's her, returned. Let me say that again. I'm going to give you another one. You might look at a picture of your 14-year-old son, and you might look at a picture of who your grandfather said his uncle was. And you'll say, that's why that uncle looks just like my son, because it's him. Recycled back. That's the story of the resurrection, of being born again, but they just got it all wrong. You've been here. I've been here before. I felt this. I've done this. If it ain't time stopping this, you in a deja vu, or they say, you've been here before. This happened before. Don't go out looking for these people. You'll find it and you'll see them in characteristics. They'll meet up back with you. Your mother's here, your father's here, the loved one you had, they're here. You just got to find them in characteristics. They're in the body somewhere. They came back. So think about a lot of things I'm saying here in Soul Future. I'm trying to put together just a few things for y'all to take with y'all after today. Yeah. Remember, the anthropologists and all that, they're sanctioned to write books. And these books will go into the educational system. So they're laughing. They know that mathematics is not God's language. They know that's not the key to the universe. They know when they got to a certain point that they had to, use quantum physics. They know this. And all this witchcraft and magic and all that, like what you see right there, this devil-looking person, these witches and casting spells. Man, that shit ain't nothing, man. If you just don't pay it no mind. Know it exists over there. It exists to you, to them. But I'm solar energy. All energy derives from solar, man, from the solar you. Now those are the craft they're trying to get to. Is their ultimate crystal city, thy kingdom come. It's an aircraft called Nibiru. When you look up and see UFOs, you're just saying those are spacecrafts, unidentified flying objects. How are they unidentified when we see them? No, they're identified flying objects. We just don't know the world or source they come from. They're spacecrafts. We make them here. We make aircrafts, don't we? Well, the ultimate spacecraft will be the one that's coming from another world, that got God in it. And you want those powers. So when you hear about witchcraft or any kind of craft, they're not speaking of craft like technique. They're speaking of the power of the craft, Nibiru, thy kingdom that will come. They want the power of those Anunnaki or higher beings that's flying above them. That's why they look up for God. Craft, witchcraft. You're trying to get to a ship, a flying ship. You're trying to get those kind of powers. And all witchcraft is not bad. You got witches that are good, that are, reading is a part of their craft. What are you reading? The spelled word. How do you got to put that word down? You got to do what? You got to spell it. And then you have to orate it, meaning cast that spelled word out. 200 fallen angels are what? Cast out of heaven? Witches cast what? Spells on people? And then you go into a library, to an educational system somewhere thinking you're getting ready to get deep because you said you're a bookworm. You done read 1,000 books, or you done had 1,000 spells cast on you too, because you're reading what? The spelled word. Did you spell that word? Did you mix them letters up and like they showed you an alphabet cereal when we was young? See all them letters being mixed up, you can't spell them until you spell the word. Or what are they spelling? Who's spelling it? Who spelled it for me? Who told me to read this? It's spelling, like spelling contests. Why do you think they always have spelling contests? To further induct you into their way of thinking. Their whole fucking system is crazy. Their whole system is crazy. If I tell you to take a break, then I tell you I could run, I'm fast. That's two things. I said I'll take a break and I'm fast. Or I'll break your neck and I'm a fast this month from food. Now if I look at the word breakfast, the word breakfast says break fast. So what the fuck do we got to do with in the morning eating breakfast? How could her name be Tony and his name be Tony? How could her name be Sean and his name be Sean? And I can go on with this dumb way they put their spelling system together. The way you got to pronounce stuff. F.Y.I, sometime, wow, you're going to say this, but this is. If you hold a card up in front of me in the 3rd grade with an F on it, and you say, tell me to go and make the F sound, and then show me a word called Felix, and then show me a word called feel, and then show me a word called function, and say that's what the F sounds make, and that's how you pronounce any word that you, when you see this letter with this card I'm holding up, that F, when you see that, you go like 4, right? Then I get in life and somebody tells me to spell the word psychic, right? I used the F's, but I couldn't quickly think of one with the F. But if somebody, let me switch it real quick to the S's. If they're holding the S card up to you and teaching you how to spell and teaching you how to speak the letters, and they say the S is a smell, and they might show you a picture of a snake and say snake, and then they say the S may say simple. They're just showing you and they're saying pronounce it. Go when you see this S, you go. And then I get out into life, right? And I hear a word in the spelling contest. They say spell psychic, and I think back to what they taught me in the educational system. I go psychic S. So I go psychic S-I wrong. What do you mean wrong? The teacher told me in the educational system that anything in the S, they held the cards up. Remember the big S, the little S? And they told me to go, and it had another S with a snake on it, and said, this is how you pronounce a word that sounds like that. So any word that sounds like that, it starts with an S. So I'm in a spelling contest, and they say, spell psychic. But now that starts with a P. Psychology starts with a P. Now you go through the rest of them. I was using F, but if you might have found one for F by now, for the pronunciation of F, that don't even sound like that. You understand what I'm saying? Well, a good one would be physical. Because F, you go physical. But if somebody tell you to spell physical, it's back to a P. So how could her name be Tony and his name be Tony? Her name could be Jerry, his name could be Jerry. Let me let y'all in on something about bisexual. Bisexual was really meaning to get to know the other gender, not to get to know them sexually. Because men were too masculine. They didn't know how a woman was. Women didn't know how men was. It was on 2 separate sides. We understood how to split our own cells, make a duplicate of our own self. They understood how to bring another them into this world without sexual intercourse. It was called asexual. Y'all understand that? These were beings, but they didn't know each other. They had to get to know each other. So you'd be bisexual, meaning you look at a woman and see what she do, because you have no idea. It was like social enacting. Had nothing to do with sexually getting together. When you say polar, bipolar, and they tell you about the North Pole, South Pole, there's 2 other poles also. I think bipolar is being sold to you. Like you have a good, that's good and evil. That all of this stuff I'm saying, you come into the world with good and evil, bipolar, God versus the devil, and things like that. You come into the world with these differences, everything to keep you from one thought, one way of thinking, that celestial, solar way of thinking. You don't have to believe in a being, a made-up being called God. That's the Anunnaki. I'll get you into energy. Whatever the energy you contact and you find and you know it's positive, stay with that energy. Live life with that positive energy and go out in life and do something positive. Let that energy follow you. You don't have to call it God. You could just say, I deal with something higher, a higher force. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So when they indoctrinate all of these big time anthropologists and these people that says they're leading this and leading that, it's just to get them credentials so you could say, well, Dr. Sutton said this, Dr. Sutton said this. You know, whatever they give you Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi said this, There was a Dr. Africa, who I trust was just as vicious, if not more. Still a Dr. Africa out there. Many other, I don't know why they picked Sebi, but he's great, he was great. I don't fully agree with his alkaline diet. You can't put too much of anything in yourself, but I agree with it, but to a certain extent. Things were formed here for us through educational systems. The way we go out and learn things to do it is for a job in the educational system. You only go to school to get smart and educated so you can work in industry and corporate America. Corporate America runs like this, back to what I was saying. I mean, the superpower runs like this. You have the hidden elite. And then out of the hidden elite, just have people that have money, that they make sure have money. You could be cousins of theirs or whatever, go out in the world. And you become a philanthropist. This is such and such, he's worth 800 billion. And they ain't never heard of this motherfucker before, but he's looking to fund some stuff. So you got people getting rich in the world, Europeans, whatever they're doing. They begin to corporate themselves, and they grow big in their corporations. Now the corporations is what's now going to begin to run America. General Electric, things like now Apple, iPhone, Ford, Exxon. I mean, Merrill Lynch. It's big. It's big. All these big corporations that run everything, buy up everything. And politics is below the corporations, believe it or not. Politics is just Americans who's trying to do things the American way. If they're not been put in through these schools, like I told you earlier, by these elites and placed in these fraternities to get into these political seats, they're already owned by them. But if you happen to be just a free, natural, patriot American, went to the war, and you don't know nothing about no Illuminati, no power, you want to take on politics, you want to change things, that can happen for you. It's corporate America. Remember that, it's corporate America. America is a corporation. And every corporation has to have a presidency. That president don't have to be in charge of shit, just going by the books. Because when you corporate yourself, you have to have a CEO or president or vice president. And whoever puts these politicians, the money line, who got all the money? The corporations already out making billions and hundreds of millions of dollars. That these politicians now need to use this kind of money to run for office. So the corporations will back them. As long as you put in or write in whatever bill that they want, and those bills usually favor corporate people, taxes and all that. And these corporate people, although they are battling with each other, it's a competition, they still do things together and plan together. Then every now and then you got some little geeks, Bill Gates, you got your Elon Musk's, you got your that'll pop up out of nowhere on these internets that don't got nothing to do with them big societies, right? And they become super billionaires and they become a threat because they're mind people. These are your X-Men people coming out. These are brilliant people now. They're black ones, but they're not going to show you the black ones. So maybe Elon Musk or Bill Gates, we got a black, so-called black man who did that already. Just couldn't get back. In fact, those ideas of theirs may be from a black person. Who knows? But they might tell you, look, you're black. You ain't going to get this invention off. They're going to stop it. Let me claim it. And that's what happens. So when they get in there, they get these politicians to do whatever they want to do. Now, politicians now rise to Senate seats and, different things. And then that's how things get done, along with the house niggas they already got in there through putting them through their Ivy League schools and their secret organizations, their Kappa, Data, whatever, any one of them Greek organizations, Data, Phi Beta, or whatever they are. They get into secret worlds of corporations and they get secret meetings because of secret handshakes. Some of them are judges, some of them are politicians now. They all mix. And they all mix. And just like a beef in the street, somebody come to the house, man, I seen that nigga, about 5 niggas in a room, 5 killers. Next time I seen that nigga such and such, man, they was looking at me crazy, man, acting all funny, man. Blah, blah, blah. It only take one nigga. They could be in there playing PlayStation, everything. One nigga could just lean over while he's playing around. He could be like, man, who did that? Yeah, man, it's time for that nigga to go, man. And somebody get the message, and they go out, not right then, but that means kill him. So his life was decided while somebody was smoking weed, doing social things. I'm saying this to say you find these elite people not in political places. The political decisions that go into law that change the planet and change, it oppresses black people and hurts you and takes from you, they're not made by political people that's in office or in a political building, a White House, or anything like that. These people meet secret places, Bohemian Grove, secret societies, Canada, Vermont, England, Bilderberg buildings, the Bilderberg group, certain hidden places to discuss policy. You got the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations. It's not a legitimate political group that can do anything. They just go there and powerful people from all the corporations and industries. Ford might be there with the head of the AT&T guy. He might be there. The bankers might be there. The oil people from Arabia might be there. All these big people, they go together to discuss stuff. You know where they make the final decision at? You know where you find these people at? Get ready. You know where you find these people at? On a golf course. At a debutante ball. I'm serious. In a Masonic lodge somewhere. You understand this? Somewhere playing cards, somewhere fishing. On a yacht somewhere. Or somewhere just regularly fishing. In any one of their clubs, their clubhouses. And they sit there and have a quick little discussion. DA might come up on the golf course, talk to the judge right quick. I got this guy, man. What you want to do about him? They make the decision right there. That's where you find the elite, the true power. Chilling. From a backseat voodooing somebody. Making sure you did your voodoo. Who do you voodoo? They might ask you that. Who did you voodoo this week? It's a movie called History of the World. And you go watch a movie called History of the World with Mel Brooks, and you'll see where he was on unemployment line, and they said, do you got a job? He said, no. And then one guy came up and said, what's your job? He said, bullshit. He said, well, did you bullshit today? He go, nah. He said, you bullshit anybody yesterday? He said, nah. He said, well, you got to bullshit somebody tomorrow. He said, okay, and they closed the window. And this was a subliminal movie that had truths in it. Bullshitting is a job. It's a technique used by all these elite people when they don't want to answer a question. Bullshitting is called taking the fifth, I refuse to answer, or a word that they got built in called not to the best of my recollection. That's called bullshitting you when they don't want to answer the straight question. When they don't want to answer a straight question, they bullshit you. You understand that? So let me get back to where these goddamn people, these Jews or these Kabbalists or these world leaders, where you can find them at, man. Like I said, these little country town clubs, and stuff like that they go to. Yeah, you find them in places of relaxation, resorts, things of that nature. Definitely you find them at a type of resort. They're different type of powers out here. You have military power, economic power, political power, intellectual power, like I got. And you have your demonic power, then you have your magical power. I'm gonna say it again. You have military power, that's government. nation. You have economic power. It's the elite. You have political power. That's the so-called average American patriot. Think he's doing something until he run in office. And the higher up you get, no matter if you're Illuminati or not, or you're one of these power pieces or not, the higher up you get, and the more effect you start to take on the ultimate plan of the New World Order, then you get approached. And all of this stuff is grandfathered in, bloodlined in. If you're not bloodlined in, you're just controlled and you'll be approached. And once you don't play ball, we know the history of the world, assassinations. Who the hell, for a president to be assassinated, has to be someone high up, has to be someone on that league. That, like I said, for the devil to verse God, he has to be a God himself. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So if someone killed a president that was under Secret Service protection, that was on camera, that was every move is calculated of a president, I mean, come on. Who would have the power if that's not inside? Do y'all understand this? Let me let y'all think for a minute, man. Let's cool out and think for a minute. We're gonna wrap it up a little bit. Just over 42 minutes on this joint. And we're gonna wrap it up. This is part 2. And I wasn't designating a topic on this one. I was kind of all over the place. So hope y'all get something out of this. I really hope y'all, find a topic that I was talking about that you want to expand on. You can go into the comments now, open them back up, and you can comment. I do look for comments. I will comment back. Right. So also remember, I didn't speak about robotics and stuff like that. But you would just have to, F.Y.I, just use your own mind. Your phone taking you over, then in the future, robots are going to take you over. Because your phone is a robot. Your iPhone is a robot, and it's already controlling your life. Has all your information, has all your pictures, has everything in it. And just like those movie Terminators, you go back and watch them again, and now you'll understand what they mean. Go back and listen to this program. The part 1 had cut off because when your phone just stopped when you're recording, and I was recording off a phone today, and it stops for you for it to be activated, and it's made activation complete. So it just stopped, and I stopped it, and I picked it up here from part 2. So yes, robots will take over. Every time you're talking to Siri or Alexia is coding your voice, the DNA, so that when you talk on any other phone, they can pick right up. So it's getting crazy. So you can switch phones, do all this. Now they got your genetical DNA pattern. When you're talking to any phone, if your name is, let's just say, Sharon White, and you throw away your phone, take away your account, get rid of your account, you don't want no more cell phones, and You went a year without talking on the phone, and one day you seen a friend, and she said, "Hey, Debbie's on the phone," and you said, "Hey, Debbie, how you doing? I just bumped into such and such." That's Sheila White, or whatever the fucking name I just said. That's Sharon White, because of the DNA on her phone. And now they got a picture of you off of that phone too, and things of that nature. So they get nice with it. There's no sense to cut your phone off. You can tape it up, tape the camera parts where they can't actually see, but you're not going to be able to stop them from hearing. So they do have a place where they just sit, and they got people watching, hundreds of millions of people, innocent people that just walking around. They got their phone in their house, taking showers, taking pictures of their vagina and all that. They just watching all of that. When the time comes, they'll use it. Information is power now. So if this is someone 13 or 14 years old and they want to grow up and get into the political world, this is when you see at the time of election, all kind of scandals drop. Oh yeah, this is what happened. This person running. All of a sudden that scandal dropped. They've been through that scandal from his phone. They just waited till the time was right where they can use his leverage to blackmail you. And so your phone too. So anything you talk around, even if you went and talked about who you did something to, so it's all in your phone. Get busted for something real big, and they'll go back into 5 years ago when you admitted you killed somebody, took somebody on the phone. And your phone was off. It was in another room. They just heard you. They got it all recorded. You're next to a tower. Everything is bouncing. That where you at is you. So get into de-Googling your phone, meaning take Google off your phone, take Netflix off your phone. Take a lot of apps off your phone. You don't even have to have an app on your phone. But the one to run it, and that'll help you a little bit better. It won't completely bail you out, but it'll help you a little bit better. All right. So remember, the internet is free. You can get on the internet and make money. You can make free money on the internet. You can do business with a lot of people and become a millionaire. But these house niggas, you won't leave your job. You won't leave your job. So remember what I said about planet cleanup. We started off in part 1 where I read out of that Bible, where I showed you about a bear being attacked, killing 42 youth, children, from a great prophet of God's. And he had this done, and he was pleased after it. And if you read it in your Bible, maybe a King James version, it's going to use the word children. It's going to go on to tell you, and the Lord was pleased with this work. Okay? So the killings and all of this is by design. I apologize for that. I know that stabs some people when I say it, but it's the truth. Or else you give me a reason for so many innocent people dying. Just so many innocent people dying now at one time. It's been happening forever. How somebody died, well, that person ain't never did nothing to nobody. Why he died? And it was rare, but now it's not rare. They're dying in the caseload, man. Innocent people. Why? Well, so Future got the answer for you. It's planet cleanup. And certain people wasn't going to do anything with their lives, man. But wait it out. Finish working for the white man. Now you're going to sit down in your backyard, wait for your check. Why shouldn't you get sick? All we want to see is you take some of that old wisdom and don't be evil with it and teach back. Even if you teach back and say, this shit ain't make no sense, but I did what I had to do, got my pension, 401k, it worked out for me. But let me teach the next person. That's too long. That cheated me of all my creativity all my life. Do something to help today's condition besides planning a trip and getting up and going to work every day. Getting up and going to work every day ain't the right move. Yeah, you got to pay your bills. But God ain't going to look at that as the right move no more, because you ducked all the other avenues. If you would have just tried your own talent. But you don't trust the world, and I understand that. But you got to trust yourself. Just because you don't trust the world don't mean you shouldn't trust yourself. Y'all understand this? So you find the elite hidden behind corporations. Corporations hide behind politicians. And politicians are hidden behind people, making them think they're for you. But They hide themselves behind you like they're for you. And that becomes their power. But where they getting their money from? Where they getting their drive from? Where they getting their speech from? How the hell do presidents have to have speeches made up for them? President of the United States is the president of a corporation. He's not the president of the planet. There's other presidents on the planet. Putin, this president, that president. How the hell is one president the most powerful? No, you don't see the power. You never see the power. You don't talk about the power. I don't urge nobody to talk about the power. Leave all that shit alone. Stop talking about my government. Stop it. Stop listening to all these African people. Oh, they got me suppressed. Oh, they didn't do something about it. Then fucking do something about it, nigga. Keep getting people in the picket lines and talk about their government. All these people getting arrested and YouTube pages taken down for what they know they shouldn't say. Oh, but it's freedom of speech. Yeah, but look what's happening. So be wiser, man. Take another road. Take the road of not attacking. I'm not in control. So future, you're not in control of all this going on. Find you something to do and get you some business. Go somewhere, meditate into a vibration, and get into the holistic you, and you will be guided. The money will come, but you don't have to think about it. Get away from trying to make money and you'll make money. Do something that's lovable. You ain't got to even love nobody. Just do something lovable and you wouldn't have hurt that person. Y'all understand me? You can't do nothing to these superpowers. You can't get in touch with these superpowers, let alone to do something to them. You don't know nobody that know them. You don't know nobody that can talk to somebody that can talk to somebody that can talk to somebody that can even go close to one of them. You don't have the connection. The money ain't the connection, it's the friendship, the power. That's why they induct you through these organizations, college fraternities and all that, to socialize. That's why there's log cabins and all of that kind of shit. That's why there's secret societies where they can socialize. Y'all understand that? The biggest secret they gave y'all fuckers in the last few years, some book called The Secret. Y'all dummy ass Christians running around, oh, The Secret. You heard this book called The Secret? What the hell is good about a secret? You got indoctrinated into that. It's the Adam and Eve story. It was a secret. Let me whisper to Eve ear and tell her the secret of the garden of good and evil. What the hell, ain't nothing godly secret. Let somebody hand you a book called This is the Secret. Secret is the devil ain't your goddamn enemy. You're your own enemy. Secrets is they done made alien contact. The aliens are here. The secret is you've been fooled in the educational system thinking you know something now. Thinking history was right. They had a show on years ago and they documented everything that happened on the earth. Everything that happened on the earth. They went through it with a fine comb. And I stood up and I was at this lecture and I asked this white man, I said, yo, that's everything that happened on the earth? You showing me Hiroshima? You showing me World War I, II, and III? You're showing me the Kennedy assassination, this and that? You're showing me this? What about Jesus? Didn't he die on the earth, on the cross? Why Jesus wasn't there? He said if we would have put Jesus there, we might as well have put Mickey Mouse there. A man called Walt Disney had a figment of his imagination and he made up Mickey Mouse. And he had enough money to bring him to life. And now people go see Mickey Mouse in a place called Disneyland more than they'll go see Martin Luther King statue. We couldn't talk about Mickey Mouse because it was a figment of someone's imagination. It was fake. I said, so why you didn't put Jesus in there? He said, duh, because it's fake. We could not put nothing fiction or false into a real documentary we was doing on everything that happened on this planet Earth. So Jesus didn't die on the cross on this planet Earth, sir? And he just looked at me. So y'all go look up a documentary or whatever they did, history did, on every event that happened on the planet Earth. You should be able to pull it up. Every event. Make sure you prove that to yourself. Every event that happened. And it didn't include a man called Jesus who died on the cross. Why? All right then. Welcome to Soul Future. I have been Apex Solar One. I am Apex Solar One and will always be Apex Solar One. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know how y'all view that, but to me on the left, I see my artwork, paintings and colors together. To the right is the old comic Earth sketchbook, and it looks kind of demonic. And I was attracted to it. I was attracted to both sides. Put the picture up over half of my painted picture, and the left side I go into creativity. That's solar. That's when you close your eyes and see all the colors. Then open your eyes again. Don't keep your eyes closed doing meditation. I don't urge meditation, but you got to meditate to get into vibration. And for those who's talking all the kundalini thing and all of that and meditate and all that, be careful when you meditate, because you're opening your mind up to different worlds, and your soul up to different worlds, and your spirit up to different worlds, and your soul, your spirit can be snatched. Here's how you meditate. We're going to close out like this. Welcome to Soul Future, and take this lesson with you and it will fade out. To meditate is to blank everything in your head out. You are not thinking about nothing. You're in a place that's serene with nothing around you that you can hear. You cannot hear nothing. You don't want to hear nothing. You're not asking questions. You're just sitting there for a sec, eyes open or closed. I say eyes open, but for beginners, eyes closed. But when your eyes are closed during meditation, you could be snatched if you're not reciting the right chants, if you don't have the right frankincense on your skin already, if not oiled down right. So just be careful. When you're in there, eyes closed or open, all you do is simply listen. Listen. And I have on something cosmic, and I'm going to try it right now because we got a couple more minutes. You close your eyes or keep them open, and you listen. Don't say anything. Don't listen for anything. You listen to the sounds of the universe. Listen. Breathe. Relax. Now there should be thoughts coming up in your head that you're trying to fight. So that's life. But that's the only devil you're dealing with right there. The negativity. You're trying to relax. You're trying to breathe and listen and not talk. But other thoughts are coming in your head. Crazy thoughts from anywhere. You have to master staying in the black. Staying in where you can't see and you're just hearing. And you're breathing. Listen to the cosmic universe. Listen to it. Now, if you're doing this under a beam of sun, the sun is coming in, that's even more excellent, because you should be now coming out of that. And as you walk around, you'll receive thoughts. That's meditating. You're meditating to get to the right vibration so that you can receive the right frequency, so that when you come out of that, nothing but thoughts will bounce back that you contacted. You didn't go in for no demons. You didn't go in scared. You didn't go in saying devil. You knew that when you was trying to just listen and not hear nothing else around you and listen to the sounds of the universe, that all your thoughts in life were just coming up to where you had to fight to try to just get a solid, stop and quiet place where you can listen. That's the only thing we look at as the devil. Negativity attacks. So my lesson is, just like when you're not in this meditation, you're out in that world, you're not in this vibration, move around negativity. Let negativity attack. Let it attack. Move like the serpent. Don't be a serpent. Move like the serpent. Don't take that as got to be no snake, but zigzag, zig. Move around the bullshit. Now let's close out with a vibration. Breathe. Eyes closed or open. If you could be under a beam of sun, that's great. Be quiet. Take everything out of your head and listen. And fight that negativity if those thoughts try to come in. Because you want blank. You only want to hear the cosmic universe.